Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for day 3 of our Summer Leadership Academy. I've already taught this lesson 2 times and I just finished and I'm tired, but I'm gonna do it one more time for our online audience. We're so grateful for you. Thank you for learning with us. If you made it to day 3, it says a lot about you. You're committed, you're in, and I truly hope that this content has been helpful to you. Our Academy vision is very simple. 4 weeks that we're going to be learning together, but we're still in week 1 right now, day 3 of week 1. And all I got to say is we are building up skills and philosophies that will stay true to your leadership over time. So some good advice is please take some simple notes, whether or not that's on a piece of paper, that's fine. Or if you haven't already, there's a link below in the description for a simple Google form note taker. And if you complete all 15 days of this note taker, then I will send you, my team and I will send you a certificate from our podcast. All right. And I hope that you can add that to your resume and they'll help you out in life. Today's topic, write this down, day 3. How do you build love, trust, and respect as a leader? How do you do it? When you're the leader, how do you build a club, an organization of love, trust, and respect? So go and write that down. Now, my wife was a guest speaker, so I will not be, so I did not record that. For all the students this morning, not only did they get my lesson right now, but they also got Mrs. Chow's. And Mrs. Chow had such an amazing take on this as well. All right, so I'm gonna try my best that I got. I'm gonna go one word at a time. Let's start with love on the very top. How do you build love? Well, first things first, a theme throughout today's whole class was leadership. It's not about me, but it's about the people I serve. It's not about me getting more power and prestige and me getting something out of it. Will you get something out of it? You betcha. But that's not the focus. And that should not be the focus when you take a position of leadership. It should be about, hey, I am now in a position where I can serve others. I am now in a position in which I can strengthen and encourage others, motivate others. That is the position of leadership. So keep that in mind. And if you want to write that down, write that down. That's a great theme to make your leadership based off of. Okay, so in class we did a few breakout rooms, and the first breakout room is I said, "Hey, what if I told you that someone just came up to you and said, 'Hey, your name. I just became president of a club, and I know that you've been president before, and you've done a great job as a leader, and I just want to learn. So next year, I want to create a loving family atmosphere for my members. How do I do that?'" So it's one of the things where, as a leader, you should be ready to respond. So in class, we went in a breakout room and we shared it out, and it was amazing. My students had amazing ideas. But here's what I got for you as well. So the first step in creating a loving club, organization, or family is for you to work on becoming a loving person. You see, you can't establish a loving environment if you don't know what love is. So everyone knows what love is, but once again, here's my definition of it. And here's, especially when it talks about leadership. How do you become a more loving person? Well, first, you got to love yourself. Do I love myself right now? You betcha. Did I always love myself? Unfortunately not. I always liked myself, but I would always compare myself on how I looked, on how I like my personality and how I acted, etc. And that's the thing about when you compare yourself. Whenever you compare yourself, you really forget about how good you got it. You look at something you don't have, but in reality, you don't look at what you do have. So over the many years, and it wasn't until probably college that I truly looked in the mirror and I said, "Hey, you're created for a purpose. You're amazing. You're awesome. You're created for great things." So that's the thing where I've learned to love myself. It's taken me many years, and maybe for you, it'll take you many years, but don't stop. Understand that, yeah, you're beautiful. You are an amazing person, and we need you. Number 2, love your family. I always give people advice, especially for relationships. If they ask, some students ask me, what should I look for in a significant other? And you know what? I'm not a counselor. I don't give too much stuff. But one thing I do say is I've noticed over the years that those who love their family, right, are ones that understand love. Well, why is that? Well, psychologists say that the reason why over time, we get in fights with our families and stuff like that, it's because we forget how good we got it. We forget how much they love us, etc. In economics, it's the law of diminishing returns. the value of something goes down whenever you see it over and over again. So whenever you look at a significant relationship, you're like, or like a romantic relationship, like you're like, wow, they show me so much love. That's because it just started. And psychologists coined that term to be the honeymoon phase. But anyone will tell you that over X amount of years, it's natural and it's okay for you to lose value and love for something. However, if you're able to still see value, if you're able to still love your family, even though it's been so many years and you've gone through many different conflicts, like any family does, and it says a lot about you. You are a loving person. Um, I brought this up and I had a more detailed list for my classes this morning, but I can say that I was pretty involved in school. And here's the main takeaways. When I went home, did my parents need a president? Did they need a salesman? Did they need a captain of a sports team? No, they needed their son and or they needed their daughter, right? So they need you. And that's the thing that when I look back in high school, I actually have some regret because when I went home, I still had my captain hat on, my president of a club hat on, my AP student hat on. But in reality, the greatest gift that you can give to your parents is to be their son or daughter. That's it. Okay. So keep that in mind. And when I look back at my involvements in high school, on paper, it looked amazing. But there are many instances in which I can honestly look back on and think, because I overfilled my plate, because I took on so many responsibilities, some of these boards or clubs or organizations, some of them suffered because I spread myself too thin and I wasn't able to devote my 100% to them. So when I look back, do I have regrets? I really do on some things because I should have given up that opportunity to someone else who had the time and who had the passion to invest. But no, I wanted it all for myself. So that is a regret that I share openly with my students in hopes that you don't overbook yourself, right? You don't need to do everything to get into college. You just need to be passionate about certain things and talk about them in your college app. That's it. Next, love your life. I've talked to students before where they've openly told me, I wish I didn't have all that I had. And I go, why? Because they think, well, I don't want to be rich. I don't want to have all the things that I have. I don't want to have everything provided for me. Even if you're not rich, it's still provided for me. And whenever I counsel them, I usually say, look, I 100% get what you're saying. However, appreciate what you have. I know you didn't choose to have all this stuff, but appreciate what you do have, right? And I think all of us, when we really think about it, we have way more than we could ever ask for. So think about that. Number 4, love building relationships. And then finally, love others even when they don't deserve it. I had a few stories in class that I shared. I'm not going to share it on here, but I will tell you, I've been put in some really difficult situations where someone has not reciprocated my love, where someone has disrespected me, even though all I've ever shown them was respect and love. But that's a test. Because if you're able to love these people who don't even love you back, it says a lot about you. You are a loving person. And it's not about whether or not you receive it or not. No, you're just going to give no matter what. So thank you for letting me talk to you about that. It's easier to give love when you understand what love is. No one's perfect. We all learn. And have I been all these things? No. Now, am I working towards them still? You betcha. Every single day. How do you build trust? So that's something else I want you to think about right now. And we did it in a breakout room. How do you build trust as a leader? Right? So what if someone came up to you and said, how do I build trust within the people that I serve? How do I get them to trust me more? And here's my answer. Step 1 is you need to be trustworthy. And step number 2 is you need to trust them. If you don't trust them, they can't trust you. So it starts with you. It's not about you, it's about them, but it starts with you in terms of showing them and serving them. Okay. Here's some quick advice if you're taking notes. Number 1, get to know your people. Invest time. That's the one thing, time and effort. Actually, 2 things, time and effort. If you invest those 2 things into any organization that you are in charge of, you're going to win. But so often than not, we ask before we've even invested in them. Next, if you say you're going to do something, make sure you do it. And I get it. Stuff comes up sometimes and you're unable to deliver. That's fine. Apologize, own up to it, and say, hey, I'm so sorry that this happened. I will hopefully this will not happen again. But if you say you're going to send an email, send an email. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Because that's your trustworthiness. And every single time you don't, unfortunately, you lose that trustworthiness. Here's a 4-step checklist that I gave my students. Please write this down. If you give someone a task, here's the best way to do so. You don't just say, hey, can you do this? Cool, do it. No. Number one, tell them what your expectation is. And don't be over the top. Just say, hey, so can you send out this email tonight? Awesome. Also, can you just BCC me on that just so that I know you sent it out, just so that I can be in communication with everything. I'm not trying to micromanage you at all. I just want to make sure that it's done so that I don't follow up with you when you've already done something. Tell them the clear expectation. If they're doing a service project, say, hey, so it's going to happen in 3 weeks from now, but at the end of this week, do you think you can give me a summary of just real quick what your plans are? So have clear-cut expectations, because if not, there's a lot of miscommunication, and now you're going to be blaming them on something that you never communicated. Number two, check in with them. Make sure you check in with them and you say, hey, how's it going? Is there anything I can help with? Can I help you brainstorm? Come on. Can I help you do something? Right? Check in with them. How's it going? Hey, I know, I said by the end of this week, but I just want to check in with you halfway on Wednesday. Hey, I just want to see that you got everything you need. Do you need some more time? Do you need it? Just be nice. Next, number three, help them be successful. So often than not, as presidents, as heads of organizations, we're kind of a little hesitant sometimes. Maybe that was just me, or maybe it's you, but sometimes we're like, if I give away all my power, if I give away all of my leadership, then I won't be the leader. Well, guess what? You will always be the leader because you're the leader. But when other people succeed on your board, you become more successful. Their success is your success. So help them become successful. I remember in high school, I would go to these service events that my board members would chair. They would lead. And in short, I would go up to them and say, hey, what do you need? And they're like, oh, can you get a trash can? Done. I go do it. Hey, what do you need? I would serve them and say, hey, what do you need today? I'm here to work for you. What do you need? Instead of what are you doing? Right? No one likes a boss. They like a helper. Another thing is if they say oh, I forgot a sign-up sheet. I forgot to make a sign-up sheet. So you don't just create one and say, hey, everybody, this person forgot to make a sign-up sheet. So come over here and make sure you sign in. No, you make a sign-up sheet real quick. You help them out. You give it to them and say, hey, here you go. And then they go, oh, wow, thank you. And then they go, hey, everybody, sign-up sheet's over here. And then they'll look at you and say, wow, thank you so much. After they did invested time into an event or something like that, you have to recognize them in some small way or big way, whatever you want, for their effort. Maybe during the next meeting, hey, everybody, can we put our hands together for this person? They spent a lot of time over the weekend and they had a great event. So I'm so grateful for them, so grateful to be working alongside them. They're an incredible leader. Thank you. That's it. 4 things. If you do those 4 things, I can tell you, you will have a wonderful leadership experience and people are going to learn to trust you. Number 4, respect. How do you gain respect as a leader? So what if someone came up to you and said, hey, how can my students, my members respect me more this year? Is that a big ask? No, I think as human beings, we all desire respect, but how do you do it? So in class, we talked about it and students had amazing ideas, but here's what I got for you. Step 1 is first giving respect to others. And look at the bottom one, and not expecting it back. You see, so often we're like, well, if I respect you, you better respect me. But that's not how leadership works. We can't control them. We just do what we do, but if they choose not to respect, that's it. I'm sorry. It hurts, but it is what it is. And you have to remember that. Don't expect it back, but give it to others freely. See, a leader is someone who serves others. It's not about you. And if you really make it about serving others, then it doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter how they react. It doesn't matter if they say thank you, but we give freely because once again, we respect that they're there, because without them, you wouldn't be a leader. All right. So keep that in mind. So how human beings normally operate is, well, if they love me, I'll love them. If they trust me, then I'll trust them. If they respect me, then I'll respect them. A lot of times as humans, we want them to do it first and then we'll do it for them. But as a leader, it's really flipped. And I want you to flip it. Let's say you do operate this way. What does that really mean? That you'll only do something if they do it for you first. Unfortunately, it means that you're selfish. And as humans, we're selfish. I'm a selfish person. We are all selfish people naturally, but we've got to fight that. So flip it. If I love them, then they can show me more love. I don't know if they will, but they can. If I trust them, then they can show me more. Can trust me, show me some more trust. Sorry, that's a typo. If I respect them, then they can show me more respect. I don't know if they will, but there's a greater chance that they will because they felt the amazing love, trust, and respect from you. And as their leader, they know you're their leader, and it means a lot whenever you do that. So final takeaways. If you continuously give, you will continuously receive. Give first before asking for anything in return. Some students are very honest and they go, well, then what about me? If I keep giving everything, what's in it for me? Well, here's what I usually tell students. If you really think about it, we have received so much more than we can ever, ever, ever realize. So much more. It's just that sometimes we forget how much love, respect, and trust that we've gotten from everyone around us. We just look at what's in front of us and I'm not seeing it, so I'm not feeling it right now. But if you really think about it, there's so much love, trust, and respect that has been given to you. I love this analogy, right? Because as leaders, I want you to always remember this. Don't draw from the people in front of you. Draw from everything around you and understand that you've been given a lot in life. I am filled with love and now I want to give it to others. I am filled with respect and now I want to give it to others. I am filled with trust and now I want to give it to others. I love this analogy of the overflowing cup because those are the greatest leaders, ones that are overflowing and that they freely give. And those are the greatest leaders, in my opinion. Do I expect you to be that immediately in high school? No. Work towards it. I wasn't that in high school at all, but work towards it. That's what it's all about. So leadership is not about me. It's about the people I serve. Now, once again, some people may look at my presentations and podcasts and say, well, I don't agree with you. And that's fine. My feelings aren't hurt, but I'm sharing with you honestly what worked for me. And I'm pretty sure if you make it your own, it'll work for you as well. If you don't like everything, that's fine. Take what you do like, if anything. And I truly hope that this has been helpful to you. We're just getting started. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider it. I'm not going to force you, but it really helps out our channel a lot. And I didn't know how much until recently. So let me know. In the description below, there's a free sign-up sheet to get a free certificate and free notes. And if you complete all of them, I'll send that to you. Thank you so much, everybody. And we'll see you next time.